Hey, welcome to my journey to another weighing video. I'm taking the easy way out again this morning because I have been canning tomatoes. This was day 5, canning tomatoes, and I'm tired. I'm just tired, and I honestly don't feel like coming home and sitting down and making a video. I just don't. So I'm going to pick up my Food Lion order, and I thought, well, we'll just chat along the way. But this week was another bad week. I gained 1.6 pounds. Now the thing is, my clothes are still so loose. They're just so loose. So I don't know. I guess I'm just in it happens. I've been looking it up and stuff. After bariatric surgery, it happens. You hit plateaus. You just need to kind of go back to what you're supposed to do. I think I said this when I was filming my haul that's coming up tomorrow. I don't want protein. I don't want protein. I did eat a chicken sandwich this morning, but it's just one of them breaded chicken patties, you know, you throw in the air fryer. So I got that much protein. But I don't want to eat chicken unless it's shredded up in something. But I did make some chicken fajitas on the stovetop the other day, and I ate that because the chicken was covered up. Chicken's got gamey to me now. Like turkey has always been gamey to me, chicken's getting gamey to me. And I was talking to Joe and I said, it is hard for me to eat something I don't want to eat. It's hard to force it down. So I've got to work on that, because I know it's because I'm eating too many carbs, because that's all I want. I just want the yummy carbs. Not the sweet carbs, just the good carbs. You know, the taters and the pastas and things like that. So I've got to get better, because whenever I go to New Jersey, which I got one more week at home, and then we go the 16th, they won't be no watching what I eat up there at all. So there ain't no telling how much I'll gain. So it's not necessarily that I'm eating too much. I'm just not eating the right thing. And we are getting a little bit more rain this morning. We had 2 good days of rain. Oh, I was out on the porch. It was lovely. And then yesterday it started thundering, so I had to come in. But listen, talking about canning tomatoes, let me tell you this. So Holly and Jacob was up yesterday, and Holly said something about, she was talking about maters. She said Jacob told her, no, you don't say that. Momo says that. He said, you say tomatoes, not maters, tomatoes. That's what he told her she could say. There was something else when he was up there last week. We was in the bathroom, and I said something, he said something. He said, you say that, and I say that, whatever it was. I said, yep. I said, we sure talk different. He knows what I mean, but he notices that I talk different from him. Holly said yesterday, he said something sounding country. She said, I was so proud. I said, well, it's your fault for teaching him to talk all proper. She's the one that talks all proper to him. That's what he knows. So she was proud he sounded like a little country boy. Good luck. Good luck getting that out of him. I don't think I've ever talked proper. If I have, I don't know. I did when I worked. When I worked, I talked like I was supposed to. She about looked naked. Her top was the same as her skin tone. I had to take a double look at that right quick. When I worked and talked to people on the phone and whatnot, I talked properly. So I know how, but this is just my talking voice. This is how I talk. This is how I talk to anybody and everybody. And y'all are like friends, so I'm just gonna talk to y'all the way I talk. I don't try to put on no airs. You know what I mean? It's just who I am. But Sebastian's coming tomorrow night. I told RJ I needed to get these tomatoes done, and then give me tonight, you know, and I'll get him tomorrow. Because he goes back Sunday. So that'll be my last night with him until probably Thanksgiving. I'm hoping he gets to come Thanksgiving, because I don't think he'll get to come Christmas, because we had him last Christmas. So I don't see her letting us have him again. So I'm either going to have to give him his Christmas on Thanksgiving or ship it to him like I did one year. I'll have to decide. I may just give it to him at Thanksgiving, you know, give him a little early Christmas. But so it's been a kind of a short summer with him. Listen, let me tell you what happened. Joan called me and she was wanting my reservation number for the motel up there where she lives because she knows the manager and she could save me some money. Well, I booked it through Expedia because it was cheaper than when I had called. Oh my gosh, if she hadn't have done that and I called and found out I booked for the wrong days. I booked 2 weekends. I booked my Lancaster weekend, but then I booked my where she lives, New Jersey weekend for the same weekend, so I messed it up. Well, Expedia says no refund, so I called and they said, well, I have to call the motel and they'll tell me if we can refund or not. So they did. So that worried me. That had me all tore up. So I got that fixed, and then I realized I booked one less day than I needed. So I booked checking out on the 20th and I need to check out on the 21st. So I had to call back, and he said, well, you can go on the website, the Expedia guy, you can go on the website and do it, extend your stay. Well, I went, I didn't find it. So I said, well, I'm just going to call the motel directly. Well, I'm glad I did, because she said, we don't even have you down for those days. I said, but he did it and he called. She said, yeah, I talked to him. Something happened and they didn't respond back to Expedia that they accepted the changes. So I don't, where some glitch somewhere, something happened. So then they got that sorted out, and then I had to add that extra day. So I am like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna just pass out. And then this morning I wake up to go take my shower, no hot water. I'm like, oh, that's what we need. We need something else to go wrong before we go on vacation, something to take up some more money, you know. And so I asked on my Facebook, could anybody recommend a reliable, affordable plumber, and my friend Rita did. So I called them and they was actually able to come out this morning. Hold on a minute, I got to let them know I'm here. Okay, that didn't take long. And so they was able to come today, and they went up under the house, because that's where it is up under the house. David can't get under there. Besides, he couldn't take part no hot water heater and check all that mess. But he can't crawl under there because of his wrist and his back and his leg. He can't do it no more. And the way we have it is you could get straight to under the house until we built the porch. And then when we built the porch, the concrete supports, you have to go through the side of the porch, around in between the concrete, and then up under the house. So it's a little bit of trouble. But they come back up and said it was not the hot water heater. It was the electricity to it is running half voltage. So he said it's probably a breaker going bad. So he gave us the name of an electrician to call. And I called, and you have to leave a message. You have to leave a message everywhere. People just don't want to answer their phone. And so we were waiting on them to call back, but who knows? Their message said they're closed on Friday. So if he can't come today, then Monday would be the very earliest if he could even come then. So I don't know about this whole weekend with no shower, no full shower. Now I know how to take a whore bath, but you want a good shower. So if y'all not familiar with the whore bath, well, that's what we call them. You just wash your important areas. So we're waiting on that, and David, bless his heart, he won't take one. He won't take no whore bath. You can forget that. That man's gonna take a head to toe shower, come hell or high water. He already said if he ain't got no hot water, he's calling in to work. He ain't going. He will. No, the man don't stink. He could roll in a pig pen and he wouldn't stink. I have told him ever since I've known him, he's got the best body odor of any, and it's not even an odor, it's just his scent of anybody I have ever been around. He does not stink. I don't care what he does. And his clothes has his own smell. I can wash his clothes and my clothes together. I've done it. Until he started doing his own laundry, I've done it. His clothes coming out smelling like him, my clothes do not. In the same load, they come out smelling different. Even Holly, she's always talked about how good her daddy smells. I'm like, I know. So I told him, I said, you could just wash your important parts and go, you don't stink. He ain't gonna do it. He ain't gonna do it. I can tell you that right now. But he said they still rotate. When the freight's slack, they rotate them a night off. So they'll hit 3 or 4 of them a night, of the drivers, you know. I said, well, if you're gonna take the night off, just tell them to count that as your rotation. He said, yeah, because the old dispatcher they had, he would be off like on vacation, let's say, come back, and then they rotate him the day he comes back. He's like, man, he said, I was just on vacation. Don't rotate me. He said he would do that to everybody. He said, I think he enjoyed it. I said, he probably did. He probably did. He just, there's people like that that like screwing other people over. Y'all know that. And I think he was just one of them. So I told him, I said, yeah, tell him you just want to take that as your rotation. So I might have him home with me tonight. Pardon me. But I think that's all I know. I gained weight. We talked about that. Maters and all that. I'm not carrying another mater till after vacation. I think I want to do salsa instead of just maters because I got a ton quarts of maters. And we're going to go through that salsa. We've already eaten one jar of it. It's good. We've done eat one jar of it. And what we got left is not going to last a year. It's just not going to. So the tomatoes I got left on the counter, I'm having to let ripen before I can throw them in the freezer. So I think I'm going to do that, and then at my leisure, make salsa. Because it's more involved than just doing tomatoes. You know, you got peppers and onions and stuff you got to chop and cook it down a little bit longer and whatnot. So I think I'm going to wait for that. And then if we don't pick corn next week, we'll have to pick it the week after we come back. So that is why I had to get them tomatoes out of the freezer, because there's zero space to put corn. I could put more off the cob, but no more on the cob. And we still got some corn on the cob left from last year. So, you know, I get this thing in me. Sometimes I don't think about something, and then sometimes I have this food hoarding mentality, whereas if I eat it, then it's going to be gone. But you have it to eat. But if you eat it, it's going to be gone, and you don't have any more. That's how I always did my perfume. When I would get a good perfume, like a present or something that was a good perfume, I just wouldn't want to use it, because once I use it, it'd be gone and I wouldn't be able to buy it. You know what I mean? So they say don't do that, but it's hard, especially when you come up not necessarily having much. You know what I mean? I was raised by a single mama, and she did what she could do. We didn't know we was poor, but when you go hindsight, we didn't have much. We had enough to get by. We had what we needed. But, you know, and she would treat us. I'm not saying she would treat us, but we didn't come from a lap of luxury, put it that way. So you just kind of get that mentality of, oh, when it's gone, I won't have no more. So that's why I've still got some corn on the cob, which we just had some last night. So that was good. But anyway, well, I am fixing to pull in my driveway, and I will see you tomorrow. Excuse me again. I'll see you tomorrow for a haul, a chat and riding haul, whatever you want to call it. Really, chat and haul, because we just talked in the car just a little bit, and then I had to come home and haul it because it was pouring down rain and my stuff was too big to get in the front seat and all that. Listen, I'm not one of them people that can look in my rear view mirror and back up straight. I just can't do it. I just can't do it. I have to turn my head all the way around. Anyway, well, that's all I know today, so I'll see you tomorrow.